Hello and welcome to the fifth tutorial in the series, and today we're going to finalize the construction of this model. And then we're going to give it material and add windows and doors to it. Okay, so let's get started with this tutorial. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add details to this part here. This part up here. As you can see in the top viewport, in the section of this model, you can see that there's like a little pool here on top. So we're going to measure the depth from this point to this point. It is 35 centimeters. And now we're going to measure this till this point. So this is the depth of this block here. So the depth is 20 centimeters. So we have 20 centimeters and the depth of the pool itself is 35 centimeters. So let's go to our model. I'm going to add an editable poly modifier to it. I'm going to inset this polygon 20 centimeters. That is fine. And then I'm going to take it inward, extrude it inward 35 centimeters. Not up, but down, minus 35. So now we have a little pool up here. It's not a water pool, I mean a pool like a invert construction. So that's fine. Next thing I'm going to do is add these little windows that you can see here. There's a window here and a window here. So the window starts, let's take a measurement from this point, the upper point of the construction, to the window itself. We have 55 centimeters and the window itself is 60 centimeters. So let's go to the front viewport. I'm going to create a box of 55 and shift drag it down, create a box of 60. Now I'm going to take this 60 box and align it to this 55. I'm going to take both boxes and align this point to the top point here. And now I'm going to select our line. Let's call it something else. Let's call it upper level roof, upper level roof. And I'm going to click vertex and slice plane, go to the front viewport. I'm going to slice the plane on this spot here. Slice. What this does is creates a line 55 centimeters from the top, and I'm going to slice it again here. Slice. This will create a line down here. Now I'm going to delete those helper objects. Now we have height lines of our windows, so we can create them or cut them. Let's go to the top viewport. Let's see where the windows are. We have one window here, one here, one here, and one here. So we already created these lines. So I'm just going to select this polygon here, and also this one, and this one. Essentially all the windows. And now I'm going to extrude them inward minus 20. So that's exactly aligned with these lines. As you can see, minus 20. This is fine. Okay, I'm going to delete these polygons. And I'm going to add windows to these openings. At the same time, I'm going to add windows to the whole construction. So this one is done. Next thing I want to do, I think it's the last thing, is add these decorative construction up here. If I go to the top viewport, you can see it here. It's this line, the red one. So I'm going to create it using the line tool make sure I'm on snap toggle, and line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and close. Close spline, yes. Now let's see how high it is. I'm going to create a helper box from this point to this point. It's 25 centimeters high. Delete the box. So I'm going to select the line I just created, just the line itself. I'm going to take it up. Let's unselect the snap toggle, take it up, and shell this 20 centimeters. It was 20, right? Not 25? Let me check for a second. Again. 25 centimeters, okay. So I'm going to go to the front viewport and make this shell 25 centimeters. Right, now I'm going to take it up here. Let's go to the top viewport and let's see where it is aligned. It's difficult to see, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the whole model to this place here when I can see the placement of this element. So first thing, I'm going to take the element back and take this point to this point. I'm going to take it up so it will be higher than the model, because then I want to align it down. I'm going to take the whole model. I just alt clicked the plan because I don't want to move the plan, only the model. And I'm going to move the model as a whole on the x-axis only. So this point is aligned to this point. So now this is aligned and we have this element up here. I'm going to take it down a little bit. Everything is aligned correctly. Now let's go to the top viewport and check the distance between the element and this concrete railing. So I'm going to create a box from the top part of the concrete railing to the bottom part of the element, and we have 30 centimeters. Alright, I'm going to go to the front viewport, create a box of 30 centimeters and place it down here, not the center, this point down here. Alright, now I'm going to take the whole element from this point down here to this point. Okay, so the element is aligned. We need to continue. Let's see in the top viewport how it is connected here. It is connected with this decorative element on the side of the building. Let's see what it is in our model. It is all this part here. So if I take this part and I take these edges 1, 2, 3 and I take them up so it connects with the element. Alright, so now we have our whole element. The problem is that this railing up here is intersecting with the continuation of the wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this part of the railing. So let's choose vertices, slice plane. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Make sure that the angle snap toggle is on. I'm going to move it to this point here, so it cuts the railing element exactly where this element goes up. Slice. Now next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check in the plan in the front viewport. Yes, this element goes all the way up in the front also. So if I go to the front view here, I need to also take this edge here up to the element, like so. So we're going to cut this roof in this point here. I'm going to isolate selected. Now we have a cut here, which we created, and we also need to cut the wall in this place here, exactly where this invert extrusion is. So what I'm going to do is, I can't cut it, I can't slice the plane using the same method I did here, because we already have lines here, so it will slice essentially the same lines that are already cut, so we can't do that. What we need to do, let me show you why we can't. If I just slice the plane, I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, and I'm going to align it to this line here, and I'm going to slice. What this does is essentially creates, one second, actually, you know what, this could work. Let's try deleting it. Yeah, my bad, it worked. It's like we have a little line here we need to delete, but it's not a problem. Oh, you see where the problem is? Okay, so the problem starts here. We have like a line here that continues. That's because we had two lines inside one another, and that's no good. So what we need to do is, I'm going to go back with Control Z, and I'm going to go back until, okay, we didn't cut this. I'm going to manually cut these vertices. So I'm going to go to cut, I'm going to unselect snap toggle, and I'm going to cut from this point to this point down here. It doesn't matter, it's not straight, because we're going to make it straight after we cut the form. So I'm going to cut from this point to this point, and I'm going to cut from this point to the last point here. Alright, now if I look at the top viewport, you can see that the cut is less than perfect because it's not aligned to this line correctly. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to snap toggle and move on the y-axis only to this point here. Same thing to the y-axis, this point here. So now we have a clean cut here, straight one. Now we can delete it, no problem. Just select this, delete, select this one, and delete. And with this one also. And we're going to close it by clicking border, selecting this border, and control selecting this one, and cap. Alright, let's go back to unhide everything. And as you can see, okay, so this wall, if I isolate it, you can see it has no thickness up here. What I need to do is add thickness to it. So I'm going to unhide for a second and add. So I'm going to select this edge here. Alright, I'm going to move it holding shift to this point here. Next thing I'm going to do is holding shift, move on the y-axis to this point here. Again on the x-axis to this point here, and close it up here. So now what we have here is a continuation of this form up here, and it also holds it in place. So let's see if it is correct. In the front viewport you can see that it goes up until the form itself, and in the right viewport you can see also it goes up until here. Alright, this is correct. Let's change the color to, I'm going to select this and assign this color to it, and the borders, let's give them a black color, same as everything else. Okay, so the form of the construction of the model is done, the base form. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add stairs. As you can see in the plan here, we have stairs to the basement, and on this side also, and we have these two forms here in the front, which are for, if you can see here, our ground begins in the door level, maybe a little lower here, something like that. So these windows are essentially in the ground. So what we need to do is create little pools around the windows so that the ground can go around them. And that is exactly what these two are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create them. Let's create them using the line. One, and I'm going to shift drag it down here, and only this point move to place. Alright, now let's go to the top viewport and see how deep they go, these two. So you can see them here in the front, and in the section you can see them exactly. So if this is our windows in the basement, they go, let's create a box, from the floor of the basement to the beginning of the form. We have 85 centimeters, right? Yeah, 85 centimeters from the floor of the basement to the beginning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here. Let's hide the plan, and we have these two. I'm going to take one of them, give it shell of 85. Same thing here, shell 85, and I'm going to move both of them on the x-axis to the wall. If I go to the front viewport, I'm going to move them to the wall. Okay, now the beginning, the bottom part of these forms need to be 85 centimeters higher than the floor. They are now exactly where the floor is, so we need to take them up 85 centimeters. So let's create a box of 85 centimeters. I'm going to place it on the y-axis using this point here, and just take them up 85 centimeters. Alright, so this is the beginning of our form, and let's unhide the plan, go to the top viewport, and let's see. So the beginning, this point, is 85 centimeters from the floor. Okay, next we need to know how high the whole form is, so I'm going to create a box here, helper box. It's 103 centimeters. So let's go here and make the shell 103, and also here 103. Yeah, so now the height, it was 85 like so, and now it is 103. So this is the right height. As you can see, it covers almost the entire window, and that's because the ground starts somewhere about here. So that's fine. We have stairs to the entrance of the house. Okay, so next thing we need to do, if I go to the top viewport, I can see that there is a thickness here. It's not hollow at the bottom, so I'm going to create this like box, helper box. It needs to be 20 centimeters, so I'm going to create a box of 20 centimeters. Let's choose this and isolate selection, create a box of 20 centimeters high, and place it on the bottom here. Here. Alright, so now we have a closed box. Let's move this, shift drag down, create a copy, and this point align to this point. So now we have our window covers. Let's select all the four forms and give them this base material and black outlines. So this is fine. If we go to the front viewport, the top viewport, you can see, yeah, it isn't covering the whole window, almost the whole window, and this is the ground here. So this is fine. Next thing I'm going to do is create these stairs here. So we have a basement level, we have the stairs. You can see them better here at the first floor. So I'm going to create the stairs using a box. I'm going to create a box from the beginning of the stairs to the end of the stairs. I'm going to give it a height of, it doesn't matter now, like 20. Then I'm going to create, let's search for these stairs. Oh, here they are. Now I'm going to create a helper box to see how high each step is. So each step is 16.771. Okay, let's write this down in the calculator so we will remember it. 16.771. And I'm going to delete this box, go to the top viewport, go back to our stairs. Alright, and now what I'm going to do, as we know, first thing, the direction of the stairs. As we know, the stairs go from top to bottom here. So the entrance to the basement is through here. So they are the lowest point is on the left and the highest on the right. So let's give the first step a height of 16.771, like so. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create width segments. So each step will have a width segment. I think this is the correct number. I'm going to convert it to editable poly. And I'm going to move all these width segments to place. So if this is the beginning of the step, this is the beginning of the second step, and so on. This line here in the middle of the step is, if you look at the step itself, you have like a bulge here. We're going to create it later, so don't worry about that. We need to only align it to the outer point of the step. So let's align it to the outer point. And again, so on and so forth. And this point here is, yeah, the outer point of the step here. No, I think it's this one. Okay. So now that we have the segments to create the steps, and we know that the first step is down here because the entrance is from here in the basement level, what we need to do is add the steps themselves. So each step is 16.771. What I'm going to do is select this polygon, all these ones, on the top of our form, and extrude them this number here, 16771. Okay, now I'm going to click plus to extrude again, but alt click this polygon, so sorry, this one, so it will extrude everything except the first one, and so on. I'm alt clicking it to deselect. Wait a second, it jumped a little bit. No, that's fine. Plus. Okay, and V to end the form itself. So these are the steps we just created. What I want to do is to leave only the top part of the steps and delete everything on the sides here, because I want to extrude inwards the step to create this this top of the step thing. And also the steps will be covered on both sides with a railing, concrete railing, so we don't need to see these polygons here. They just take up space and memory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the front viewport and I'm going to delete all the polygons here. all the polygons here. That's fine. Just leave the outline like so. Next thing I want to do is I want to create these inward direction lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure them. Let's create a helper box from up here to down here. This top part of the step is 4 centimeters high, and 4 centimeters high. Let's delete this helper box and create a helper box for the inward amount. It's 40 centimeters deep also, so it's 4 on 4. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the steps 4 on 4. I'm going to create edge, select this edge and this edge, connect them. No, first thing I'm going to go to the front viewport and I'm going to create a box 4 on 4. I'm sorry, 4 on 4. I'm going to place it using this point here exactly inside, so the step needs to go inward till here. And now I'm going to, second, let's move this helper box I created into place. So it needs to be somewhere here in the steps. It's fine. And I'm going to select our form, select 1, 2 edges, connect them and take them up until they meet the line we created. So it's 50 measurement up, 52. But before I do that, I select all these edges from all the steps. So it's easier from the front viewport. Just going to select, holding the control key, just select everything. Now I'm going to hit connect again. And oh, okay, so this one goes up and all the others go down. So I'm going to deselect this one and just create it later. Now I'm gonna hit connect, minus 52. So it goes to the up direction. Everyone is going up. This is fine. Fine. And add these manually. Connect plus 52. So now we have the measurements. We can delete this helper box. And what I'm going to do is select these bottom polygons and extrude them inwards, so minus 4 centimeters. So it was 4 high, 4 in, which is fine. Next thing I want to do is delete the polygons I don't need, the side polygons. So I'm going to select this, delete, and only the side. If I select everything, it will delete the inner polygon also. So I'm going to be careful and select all these ones. And this one here. Alright, now we have our steps. They are aligned, everything is fine. I'm going to take them to the other side also, because they are the same on both sides. We have a little more steps here. That's because this area here is higher than this area here. We're going to be dealing with topography later on, but for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these stairs to align to the wall of the building. And they begin exactly where the floor of our basement begins, so the height is right. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to move our whole model. Just select everything and Alt unselect the plan. Move the whole model back to this plan here, because I want to work with the model and the stairs. So I'm going to move it using only on the x-axis, and I'm going to be using one point of reference. I think this one is fine. Move it here. Alright, I'm thinking if I hide this, yeah, there is like a cone here. It is fine, it is aligned. And now our stairs are also aligned to the basement. The height is fine. We don't, you know what, yeah, let's leave this polygon, so it's fine. And let's see on this side, also aligned, but we need 2 more steps to get to the ground, as you can see here in the plan. So we have 2 more steps. What I'm going to do is I'm going to double check it in the front viewport. As you can see, this is the right side and this is the left side. We have more steps on the left side and it is higher. Alright, because this is the this is the topography and it is a little bit crooked. The ground there is not straight, which will make it more difficult, but we will deal with it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take these stairs here, shift drag them here, and let's take this point on the y-axis and align them. Next thing, I'm going to take them up so that the bottom part of the step will align here. Let's see if I take them up a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. And as you can see, the stairs go until this point, so these stairs are irrelevant. I'm going to delete them. Now let's see what we have here. Okay, so I'm going to delete this last. You know what? No, I deleted too much. Just unselect this polygon and delete everything else. So this is essentially the ground level. Exactly the same way that this is the ground level. Alright, so we have the stairs. I'm going to click on this. Let's call this stairs left side. I'm going to attach these stairs because they are continuation. And let's select all the vertices because we have like double vertices here because we connected another polygon to this polygon. So I'm going to select all the vertices in the form. I'm going to click weld. Now we see that 2 vertices were welded. Before we had 144 vertices in the form. When I click weld, we have 142. So this is fine. Stairs left side, let's copy this name. Control C to copy. And let's give it the same name. Control V to paste. Right side. Alright, so again, let's select both of these stairs. Give them outline black and base gray. Okay, we have the basement steps. Next thing and last thing I'm going to do for this tutorial is create the steps to our entrance, main entrance. We have the stairs on this side and the stairs on this side. Let's go to the top viewport. One last thing I want to see. Yeah, as you can see here, we have a height of the floor on this side is lower than on this side. That's why we had 2 more steps from the basement. But as you can see also, because the ground starts higher here, we have this element that covers the basement window is also higher than the left element. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a box, helper box, from this point to this point, from the higher point of this element to the higher point of this element. We have 43 centimeters high. So 43 centimeters. So what I need to do is make this form higher than this one by 43 centimeters. So 103 plus 43, we have 146. So this is the correct height. Alright, the lower part is fine because it's in the ground. They're both the same height. Okay, next thing is these stairs here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the top viewport and I'm going to create them. Let's select the plan, isolate selection. I want to stay with the plan only, and I want to create these steps here. So I'm going to use the same technique I used in the steps for the basement. And let's do this. I'm going to create a box from this outer part of the step to the end of the steps. Here we have a entrance and we have a ground of the model itself, so we need to go to this point here. The height measurement doesn't matter for now because we're going to take it from here. So each step I'm going to create a box, helper box, from the top to the top of this step. We have 16.857. Let's delete this measurement, and 16.857. This is one step high. Let's go back to this form. I'm going to give it a height of 16.857. This is the first one. Next, I'm going to convert this to editable poly. I'm going to add edges. I could add edges before I convert it to editable poly, but it's the same thing essentially. I'm just going to select all these edges, 1, 2, 3, 4, and hit connect. And now I'm going to give it a value of like 8, I think. This is fine, and now I'm going to move them to align to the steps. So 1, 2, they're almost aligned. 3, no, like so, and this point here, and this point here, and the last one, let's move it here. Now this step is a long step, so we don't need these edges, so I'm going to select them, one edge, control select two edges, loop, and control click on vertices, so it selects all the vertices that go and connect with the edges. Go back to edges, backspace to delete, go back to vertices, they're already selected because of what we did, and backspace to delete those. So this is fine, and now I'm going to extrude polygon. So I'm going to select one, control select 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to extrude them by a value of a step, so 16.857, and plus, and alt deselect this, plus alt deselect this, and so on. Okay, now I'm going to delete from the front viewport all the polygons on the sides. I don't need them for now, maybe later. And I'm going to see the value here of the intrusion of the step. So we have a box. Okay, so it's 4 on 4, exactly the same thing it was in the basement level. 4 on 4. I'm going to create a box up here, 4 on 4. Place it, I'm sorry, 4. Place it on the Y and X axis from this point here, and wait a second, where is it? I'm going to align it to the step, just about like here, and select this form, go for the edges, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, it's easier in the front viewport, holding the control key to select everything. And now hit connect only one time and move these parameter up by a value of 52 also, it's fine. Close enough. I'm going to hit V, and I'm going to delete the helper, we don't need it. I'm going to extrude this polygon, and also this one. Extrude them inwards by a value of -4. Okay, now I need to delete these polygons, so I'm going to go to the front viewport and select this ones, and so on and so forth. And guess what? We have the stairs. So let's see what we have here. Of course, the stairs are too low. We need to take this part, this upper part, you need to align with this upper part. So I'm going to take it up on the z-axis and align this point here to this point here. This is perfect. We have the first step to the entrance, perfectly aligned. I'm going to copy these steps to this side. Now we have fewer steps here because this part of the garden is higher than this one, but we're going to fix it. I'm going to move on the y-axis only, this point to this point. So now we have the stairs. If I hit F3, you can see that we have too many stairs here, so I'm going to essentially move. Okay, first of all, I'm going to delete the first step. So I'm going to delete it. This one. Okay. Now, let's see if it is aligned. Yeah, the steps are not aligned, so I'm going to move the lines on the x-axis to align to the steps. One. It's a little bit tricky. Move it here. Wait a second. Oh, this was aligned actually. To move it here. This one also. Oh, we have one step too many. So I'm going to delete another step here. I could just build them from scratch, but I think it's easier like this. So I'm going to delete this one and this one and this. Okay, one step lesser. I'm going to move. Now I'm going to align them. So this is the first one. This is the second one. Third one. Fourth one. No, I shouldn't have deleted this. I'm sorry. Let's go back. It was actually fine, like it was. Okay. So, yeah. So now I'm going to align it again. Just take this first step on the x-axis to place. Second step to its place. Third one here. And I think that both of these are aligned. Yeah. The height of the entrance is the same on both sides of the house. We just have lesser steps because the ground is higher here. Okay, so this is fine. Now we have both stairs of the entrance. Let's just select both of them, give them outline black and this base color for now. And now our model also have stairs to the house and to the basement. Next tutorial I'm going to add covers to these stairs with railings and cover for these parts of the stairs because it needs to be covered because it's underground. So that's the next one. And the one after that we're going to give start giving materials to the model because we will finish it essentially, and we will add windows and openings and doors to the model. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.